welcome to my Sunday Front. Today I have a little news brief, just typical news. Um, and I wanted to just go straight into it and get it done because it's kind of lengthy. I think I'm going through it right now. I have like pages written down, but I want to read it as it is. I don't really want to, change it up a little bit or a lot because I feel like kind of like some of these points are kind of important, and I want, just to go into it. So, in Europe, there has been some flooding, and specifically Italy, Czech Republic, and Poland. They've been having this severe weather. There's been flooding in Nysa, Poland, which was evacuated after their dam collapsed, claiming 17 total lives. So this is like, it was just like these rainstorms, I guess, catastrophic, claimed the lives of 17 people. And in Poland, one city was evacuated called Nysa. And that, it was kind of like it put people, on high alert because like they were just like, how do you evacuate a whole entire city? Like it was a lot of people. But Typhoon Yagi, if you remember Typhoon Yagi, actually had flooded Myanmar. Well, then Babinka, another Asian tropical system, similarly affected various countries, Philippines, China, and even Guam, killing over a dozen people. Now, this natural disaster has alarmed people enough for climate change awareness to win over in politics. Because next is Typhoon Pulasan, which crossed the Okinawa Islands, reaching China. Today it is expected to cross the tip of their shores. Friday began affecting Korea, Saturday, and reaching again into Japanese waters by Sunday morning. So this storm, Typhoon Pulasan, it actually crossed over the Okinawa Islands, and it's gonna hit the tip of China, and expected to like kind of do a U-turn, kind of double back, but instead of like continuing its path in which it came, it's not going for South Japan. It's going like to the western shores, I guess. Kind of not skimming. It's actually crossing over the bottom portion, the tip of Korea. So that's going on, and this is after Bibinka, and like I said, Yagi had already, sufficiently, saturated the area. Now, Sulik, which started off life as a tropical storm about 3 days ago in Guam, the coastal waters, it grew into a larger disturbance. Now it's Typhoon Sulik, and headed for Vietnam. So, yeah, that's another storm, Typhoon Solik, and we're just now like kind of watching Typhoon Sulik, but it is headed now to Vietnam. In other areas of the world, Spain harmed with bulldozers, Morocco with planes which drop water, arrived in Portugal to fight an all too familiar here in the U.S. wildfires. The news spread throughout the internet. An estimated of 6,000 firefighters were deployed. This blaze costed the lives of 7 people. So in Portugal, they're having a wildfire, I guess, outbreak. They had a wildfire emergency, and it caused like 2 countries, Spain and Morocco, to kind of like deploy a few of their firefighters. Total, I don't know, maybe 500. I'm not too sure. But they have been deployed into fighting these fires because they were so, it was like consuming land. And like I said, there were 7 people who perished in these wildfires, and it went viral, the crisis. So here, kind of like local weather. Next to what remains of Gordon, a smaller system inches our way, with a chance for improvement, and we will watch for any further changes. So if you remember Gordon, it was like this tiny little system, which was in open water, just like in the middle of nowhere. It kind of grew into a cyclone, but it next to it, like here's Gordon, and then here's the system. This system is moving towards us, and so we're kind of watching it, like it's like tracking, like if it's gonna go that way. So we're watching that one because that one, it has a chance for development, even though it's not as great as Gordon's was. We're still gonna watch it, because we don't know. An area near Cuba, Mexico, and Belize, and Honduras in open water has a greater chance of tropical development. We are watching for a tropical depression sometime next week if the development continues. So around probably Wednesday, I'd say, we're looking for like an upgrade in the storm that is currently there. It's located, like I said, kind of smack dab between Cuba and Mexico, and it's also so kind of like broad. It's like touching, Belize and Honduras, so it's like a big storm, kind of almost stationary, but it does have chance for development. And like I said, by next Wednesday, we'll know. And Gordon, which is in the middle of the ocean, still can reemerge as a full-blown cyclone. Again, the seemingly non-threat system is a danger for those who near it by boat or air. It is a ways from the Azores Islands, but it is, similarly, it's like if it was to track, and, if it was to redevelop and start spinning again in its track, it's kind of pointed towards the Azores Islands, but it is still further away from them. Now, over the weekend, a man who vowed vengeance for Ukraine conflict and even started a foundation to mobilize militia in the country with aid from foreigners. He bragged that he had 1,000 total in his militia group. He, known for online rants and extreme politicized antics, staked out an assassination attempt. This 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Roth on Sunday during a golf game, former President Donald Trump. He is from North Carolina. He attended the university and has a lengthy background, criminal history, including possession of illegal firearms. So he was spotted across a highway, a dense wooded area, he was bunkered down in. Secret servicemen fired upon him, and a bystander flagged down the police who were right on him, because he quickly fled the scene, and they witnessed him leaving. He barricaded himself. He was armed with a rifle, and upon inspection by the investigators, they found a GoPro camera. It is believed he wanted to film everything. Now the Secret Service, who has been amping up security for Trump, requests more support for an already sharp-looking team, hoping to get the security detail at presidential level. Many officials took to media, and some calling for legislation for the unconcerned Biden admin, albeit Harris-Walz 2024 rhetoric that has caused an outbreak of empathy swarming the internet alone, which also kind of not dwindles, but it like spills out into the real world, this rhetoric, this empathy, spilling out into the real world is anti-patriotic, dangerous behavior and language, continuing a narrative that is dehumanizing and lacks real consequence or seriousness required in this or any politically violent climate, which has shown and proved to be an extremist, harmful to the peace of this nation. Ryan Ruth is locked up, as any divester should, to say the least, and is being heard in court until sentencing. So his trial continues, and so I guess Ryan Wesley Ruth, he was attempting an assassination on Donald Trump during a game of golf on Sunday. He is one of those, not Ukraine supporters, but kind of like a lone wolf extremist. He is known online for antagonizing and bragging about things that are dangerous and extreme and harmful, to the safety of our country. So he's not, known for being non-violent and non-threatening. He's actually the opposite, and has, caused alarm with his antics. But as he attempted to gun down our former president, the Secret Service did intercept him in time. They said that they intercepted him right before he was able to shoot out any rounds. That he did barricade himself and run off, and witness, had to flag down the police and told them everything, what he was wearing and all these things about him, so they can find him and catch him as fast as they could. And so now people, politicians and officials have took to pressers and tried gaining support for their actions taken, using their offices or maybe higher ups, so that way we can have something passed to where dangerous rhetoric like we have seen in the Harris-Walz 2024, with the empathy and the lack of accountability, the irresponsible tone in which is being held to and against the former president. So they have publicly asked for anybody who has been influenced by this or what have you to quote unquote tone it down. And so hopefully we see some improvement in these type of things, because we want a fair vote and a living, breathing former president. Maybe even future president's second term, right? That's fun and exciting. So like I said, the man Ryan Wesley Ruth is still in the processing phases of jail. So we have to wait and see what happens there. And as far as his sentencing, his charges are, they're kind of just to make sure that he stays put at the moment. So I hopefully, we can see, some real, time dealt there, because he should, pay for what he's done, but also that this doesn't, happen again. So pager walkie-talkies detonate. Hezbollah claims after 50 deaths during an attack and continue to climb. That's the 50 deaths. Israel loaded pagers and walkie-talkies they use with explosive devices. Israel has yet to confirm, as emergency meetings continue night and day, trying to hone back peace. For fear this might escalate, a vote for a 12-month plan for Palestine to regain control over governing land was made in favor for this process to start, and other forces to fall back. As this gradual process takes place, tech companies are rumored to have sent the devices to the officers from Hungary and Taiwan. These again were intercepted and tainted, causing 4,000 injured, some still unreported and injuries great, and the death toll climbing. The worst case scenario in this inhumane slaughter was that, and factually, were children who also have been struck. Viral video shows moments when normal lives were disrupted and chaos began. So to kind of summarize this, Hezbollah claims that their pagers and walkie-talkies were tainted, not before they were assembled, or the devices again were from Hungary and Taiwan, but once they were to arrive to the officers, they had been intercepted and kind of dismantled and assembled with detonators, and explosives. So when they were carrying them, a couple days, 2 days, it's been that the pagers and the walkie-talkies have been exploding, and they carry them on their waistband, so they have these lower body extremity injuries, but also it was a expansive area in which the explosion caused serious bodily harm to those around them as well, blowing them to the ground and around. It caused deaths, tallying 50. This made a lot of world leaders aware, and a lot of peacemakers aware that this was escalating fast and quickly enough that they had so many emergency meetings and so many people talking. They decided to plan this 12-month long process to give Palestine back its rights and land and territories, because they want to make sure that the escalation cease and the peace, maybe can gain some footing back in this desert conflict. And so there's been a lot of blame put on Israel right now, but also, like I said, they're asking for this plan to happen and be effective as soon as it gets rolling. As soon as they roll it out. So they're still convening and they're still meeting with ideas with some of the most brilliant peacemakers there are in this world right now. So that's pretty good. We have very powerful peacemakers as well. So I look forward to any results. In other true crime news, Joseph Couch was found by a couple in the woods. Joseph Couch was spotted after opening fire on a Kentucky highway. He had texted his wife that he was going to do a mass shooting and then commit suicide. 5 people were wounded. And since it happened September 7th, there was a dwindling hope for finding a sniper. The couple who found him had waved down a policeman who, with his partner, were combing the area on foot. And the couple received $20,000 approximate in award cash because he was found with his weapon beside him, deceased. It is an assumed suicide, so he did carry out the attack and do his deed as planned. So Joseph Couch, he was kind of spooked me because I live in Ohio, in Cincinnati, so the areas in which he Kentucky is like right across the river. So once they gave that award, it was kind of like a little bit of weight off my shoulders. They were like, if you find this man, we will give you this money. And everybody was saying, if you find the man, it's probably not going to be alive. The officials were saying that he had texted his wife that he was going to conduct this mass shooting and then end his own life. So the chances were that you would find him deceased. And this couple, luckily he wasn't alive, did find him in a densely wooded area. And it's just so happened they kind of bumped into the police also. So, the 4 of them confirmed to us at home, that he, in fact, did perish and was no longer a threat to the public. So, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again on the next one. My son different. Bye-bye.